Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing Saturn in Leo. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Saturn and Leo people have the potential for a deep self-respect based on their knowledge of themselves as a responsible and honorable human being with a readiness to aid any other person in their quest to find their own self-respect. These people are much more interested in mastering themselves than anything else when all is said and done, and in realizing their full consciousness and of opening their hearts to the world. When negatively expressed, these people are slow to form a true sense of identity and to realize who they are in any depth because of constant self-doubts that they have. Their doubts cause them to need and to seek respect and recognition from others to gain a better sense of their personal importance. These people have serious doubts about themselves, and because of this, they find it hard to believe that others like, respect, or love them, which makes their struggle to gain respect from others particularly difficult and makes their need for this respect even larger. These people very often have a sense of personal inadequacy and insignificance which they find hard to tolerate and perhaps to admit to, and may be jealous of all those with whom public success of all those with more public success than themselves. Very often a resentment of those who gain more recognition than they have could drive them on towards achievement, so that they can come to feel important, admired, and respected by themselves as much as by others, since their innate self-respect is so low to begin with. These people need to feel important, powerful, and dominant in compensation, which could lead them to be dictatorial and domineering, controlling and commanding, and to be puzzled when others don't love them or to be negative about others in important positions. These people have a hard time showing their real self, which they never know well nor like very much. As a result of this, they can be stiff and formal socially, or at least controlled. These people want to be popular and will become depressed if they are not accepted. These people will very often make tremendous efforts at being superior, while in actual fact they are rather shy. They both overinflate and underrate themselves. They like to build a variety of ego trappings, things that they can display as examples of what they can do, or of how creative they are. They are constantly seeking approval, a pat on the head or a medal, and yet their inner lack of self-respect blocks the full flowering of their creativity, which tends to be quite formal and rigid, and therefore not fulfilling. Their creative acts end up coming from a place of rules in order to gain status instead of from the playful enjoyment of self-discovery. These people very often find it difficult to relax and to simply play freely and spontaneously. These people very often have themselves and their life thoroughly under control so that their pride is protected and doesn't feel so vulnerable. As a result of this, they end up imposing an inner dominance and dictatorship, but it shows up again and again in their need for love and difficulty in ever feeling that it's there. People with Saturn in Leo have great difficulty expressing affection openly without being certain that it will be returned, and they're never really sure about it even then. These people can seem like bottomless pits when it comes to wanting more and more love, and yet they will never be satisfied since they can't feel loved, and yet at the same time they feel that they can't afford to be ignored. If it turns out that these people are actually rejected, they may be utterly heartbroken. This type of thing may have begun in their early life when they were only given recognition for their formal external achievements or for performing, or for how well they met rigid social requirements, and not for themselves as human beings, thus making any recognition that they got extremely important to them. When negatively expressed, these people can be rigid disciplinarians with fixed views which tend to be largely out of date. These people will very often want to move with the times, but an inner mistrust and reserve holds them back. When negatively expressed, these people can be far too strict and unbending with their children. It's common for unhappiness to come through their relationships with children. These people very often have a powerful and unbending belief that their way is the only way. Saturn and Leo people have great difficulty expressing themselves freely. These people tend to be aloof and self-contained. It's like they stand apart from the crowd, even though it clamors for their leadership. These people's personal austerity hardens the walls of their ego, causing them to isolate themselves. These people are filled with the sense that much is expected of them, for they ultimately realize that the position that they have won carries grave moral obligations as well. These people are natural leaders, but they are inclined to be conservative. Their willingness to enforce discipline seldom endears them to others. Those who insist that the time has come for people to tighten their belt are seldom beloved, regardless of how right they may be. People with Saturn in Leo are often revered and respected, but they are often fated to forego the warmth of intimate associations with congenial companions as well. And so they feel that their hard work has gone unappreciated, and quite probably it has. The person born with Saturn in Leo needs love as much as anyone else, but they may find it difficult to unbend. As a result, they often appear more cold and calculating in matters of romance than they really are. Saturn in Leo people do well in responsible positions which allow them to exercise authority constructively. They're capable of achieving a powerful place in government and politics through their innate ability to get to the core of a problem and to establish order where chaos prevails. In a business sense, this cool efficiency is the mark of an administrator who will put company welfare above personal concerns. Saturn and Leo people have a serious attitude toward creative work. These people tend towards being perfectionists who will take the time and trouble to achieve the right effects and who will work diligently to develop required skills. People with Saturn in Leo are likely to find that situations involving leadership or love are likely to make great personal demands on them and ultimately end in disappointment or heartache. These people are born leaders, but in many ways severe ones. They believe in remaining aloof and isolated in their leadership positions because they are highly aware of the dignity and distinction of their positions. These people are very big on the idea of hard work and doing your duty. Although they may be drawn to the entertainment industry or be occupied in a profession that gives pleasure to others, they will rarely let their hair down and actually join in the fun. This is because they feel that this type of behavior would ultimately demean them. These people may be extremely good at their jobs and gifted at pleasing the masses, but it's always only a job. It's never an expression of their true feelings. Trying to understand what their true feelings are is a bit of a mystery, even to themselves. Ultimately, they want love, and deep down inside, they have a large amount of love that wants to be released and shared. But generally speaking, this is not to be for these people. They have a really hard time expressing their emotions. When they try, the result is awkward, inappropriate, and often inadequate. As a result of this, these people will resolve themselves very early in life not to bother trying to demonstrate their affections to anyone anymore. Because of this resolve, they will develop an aloof and self-contained attitude that discourages others from reaching out to them emotionally. At this point, they will then settle comfortably into this armor-plated style of being, and will then very rarely manage to break out of it. Sometimes people with Saturn in Leo find a release for their emotions by engaging in love affairs with socially inferior people. In these situations, they feel that the fact of them actually being with that person is sufficient expression of their affection or regard, and that no further demonstrations of love are necessary. This scenario very often doesn't work out as expected, and then bitterness and scandal are often the outcome. Saturn and Leo people are excellent organizers, cool in an emergency and able to handle large groups of people with an authority that others seldom think to question. They are constructive, practical, impressive, and given the opportunity, should have no difficulty rising to a powerful position in government or politics. Their talent for diplomacy is quite remarkable. When it comes to business matters and employment in general, these people are the ideal company person. They are the type of person that will put the organization first and their personal concerns second. With this attitude, they are soon singled out for promotion by discerning and progressive management. People with Saturn in Leo have a mode of living that usually reflects extremes of austerity and splendor. If they are wealthy, they may surround themselves with all the creature comforts and yet have no one to share them with. In ordinary circumstances, these people may treat themselves now and again to the best meal in town and end up eating it alone. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easy to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.